Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Think Rugby podcast with myself, Xav Kelly, and I've got my partner in crime, Andy Moe. How are you today, Andy?
Not too bad, Xav. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, yeah. Amazing weekend of rugby. Can't complain whatsoever. I mean, it's just the start of the season. I'm already absolutely buzzing, and I'm buzzing to see what's to come in the future. But no, I'm really, really ecstatic. We've got so much to try cram in, so I'm not going to ramble on just now. We'll just go straight into it. So where would you like to start today?
Let's start by previewing the biggest games this weekend, the Rugby Championship Down Under.
Lovely stuff. Excellent. Okay. Let's begin with Bledisloe. Why not? We've got Bledisloe Cup. We've got All Blacks taking on the Wallabies. This is an absolute enormous fixture. Not just because it is historically an absolute gigantic kind of mammoth of a game, but also because of the standings just now. If you listened to last week, and if you've been following the Rugby Championship. The Rugby Championship is so close. Between first and last, which is Australia and Argentina, 2 points. Only 2 points. That hasn't happened in a very long time going into this final of 2 rounds of the championship. So we've got the penultimate round, starting with All Blacks and Australia, who are both leading the way on points just now. So, very interesting going into it. The All Blacks just coming off a heavy catastrophic defeat against a very well-drilled and well-in-tuned Springbok side, and also Australia coming off a narrow loss against Los Pumas, which was 26-28 along those lines. So just a couple of points of score in it. So at the ends of the spectrum, we've got the All Blacks getting absolutely showing no mercy, and also Australia sorely, narrowly missing out. Both come together in Bledisloe, which is always an exciting fixture. What's your take on it, Andy? How do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, pure and cut. I think the All Blacks are going to win it by 3. It's at Eden Park, so they must win.
You'd like to think so. I mean, they managed to see off the mighty Box at Eden Park as well, so you'd like to think they managed to see off Australia. I'm going to say All Blacks by 6. I've always thought the All Blacks would win it, but I don't think it's going to be comfortable. The way Australia is playing just now, though, as well, you see, the last 2 results, they narrowly beat Argentina, but also narrowly lost them as well, and even jump back a few weeks prior to the Springboks. Okay, they kind of decimated them first game, but that narrow loss against them as well shows they're always in the competition, they're always fighting until the end. So I think it's going to be close again. I can see the All Blacks will be hurting from that loss against Springboks, embarrassingly so, and rightfully so as well. So we'll see how that progresses. But All Blacks by 6, that's my take on it. Like I say, Eden Park. Not much else to it. It's going to be huge. Wallabies have a point to prove. I think they're going to come in with the most confidence they've had in a Bledisloe game in a very, very long time. Again, Australia are ticking, and they're kind of sleeping giant who are coming up and rising and kind of showing their worth and proving their worth in this championship.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Are you going to be getting up at 6:05 UK time to be watching it?
Yeah, it's not too bad. 6:05. I could roll out of bed at 6 a.m. and just turn it on. I can't lie. When the All Blacks are in town, I generally tend to watch it, especially this kind of time. This off the competition is getting very close and whatnot. There's not a clear cut winner, so I'd probably most definitely be watching the first test of Bledisloe. And I don't know, it's just one of them, one of the biggest fixtures in world rugby. I would go on to say, and cue the comments here, a bigger fixture than the All Blacks v Springboks game is Bledisloe Cup. Onto the Box v Pumas. What are you thinking? I'll let you take control.
Oh yeah, so you don't get any more shit in the comments after last week.
Yeah, come on, let's move on quickly. I've had enough of that lately. Let's go.
Well, the Boks are going to be at home against Argentina. 4:10 kick-off. They're high as a kite after last weekend, but like everything else in this Rugby Championship, you cannot ever totally write off one team. However, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm saying the Boks by 10. Rassie Erasmus has been a bit hot and cold with his mind games in terms of actually, working in favour of the Springboks. But I'm just thinking they cannot go and do a record-breaking win and then lose at home to Argentina. I'm thinking it probably more likely to suffer from a bit of jet lag or whatever over in Argentina. So for me, I think Boks probably going to stand their ground and win the game by 10.
I went Boks by 12. This is very strange. You can have a look at my sheet as well. I've done Boks by 12. The general consensus here is it's not going to be a complete dominant win, but it'll be a comfortable win. If you win by 12 points, so that's two score. Well, not quite 2 scores, but it kind of shows the position that the All Blacks are in. Even though Argentina have been competing well, beating the All Blacks, they've beaten Australia. Now it's time to kind of get down to the crunch. Are they going to beat the Springboks, who are undoubtedly favourites, especially being in South Africa as well? I mean, I'm not going to say I hope so, but it would be, again, you love an underdog story. I'm trying to be careful here, man. You love an underdog story, but again, it's a hard one to see. Carreras might pull out strong again with his goal kicking. Springboks concede as many penalties as Wallabies did. Possibly not. You won't know till the day. Like, Carreras has shown that he's got the composure to slot them if they're within range, and maybe that is a game plan that Argentina are going to try to take in moving forward, taking the points and making the other team play to try score some tries, no pun intended, to score some tries and get some more points on the board instead of just going for the posts like Argentina do. Scoreboard pressure is a really, really important thing. A lot of teams are struggling to kind of utilise it and everything, but it's really refreshing to see. Maybe a bit more boring for the kind of casual watcher, just watching some points going over. But in terms of tactics and everything, it's what wins your game sometimes, as it did against Australia. So you never know. They might try follow suit. They might not. Again, it just depends on the day. Will you be watching the game?
No, probably not. I think I'm the same as you. I think I'd rather get up earlier and watch the All Blacks Wallabies game. But
because it'll
we shall see.
It'll be a later kick-off being in South Africa.
Yeah, 4:10.
4:10. Unfortunately, I will be away. I'm actually watching some grassroots rugby, which I encourage everybody to do, because the grassroots game is kind of on its knees just now, especially in Scotland, which I won't mention in this podcast, but maybe make a specialist episode for, but it's kind of on its knees. So I really encourage anyone, whether you're Scotland, England, South Africa, because we have a lot of South African viewers, go watch your grassroots. Even though it's probably less of an issue with you guys, go watch your grassroots, get stuck in as well. Even though it's not your team, just go down, support, and also just kind of show face and whatnot in network within your community. Anyway, back to the video. That's me all kind of. That's us all kind of caught up with the I was going to say URC again, with the Rugby Championship. Moving on to the URC now, ironically enough. So again, Andy, I'll let you kind of take the reins here. You are a bit of a mastermind and whatever when it comes to the URC.
Well, I mean, in terms of domestic leagues, the only thing that would be better than the URC, I would say, is the top 14 in France, but we don't need to talk about that just now. I have to say, I have been looking forward to this for quite a while, mainly because, as I've said since the beginning of this second season, I wasn't a big fan of the Lions tour. I was like, right, well, whatever, let's just get back and watch Glasgow, Edinburgh, see how they're going to get on. So Friday night, Glasgow are at home against the Sharks. Obviously, a lot of the big internationals are going to be with the Springbok team, so they won't become Scotstoun. Clear as day for me, 15 points to Glasgow. Similarly, with Edinburgh, albeit they did struggle last season when they went away to Zebra, they do the same again today. No, this weekend on Saturday, 3:05, kick-off, Edinburgh to win by 10.
It's good to see you back in the home nations, the home clubs, should I say. I'm going to tend to agree with you there as well. Then the odds are in their favour. It's probably better fixtures to start with, if you like, in comparison to playing other clubs. So maybe that might be a bit short-lived with success if they do end up winning. What do you reckon in terms of, do you want to go straight to kind of top 8 predictions or playoff predictions, or have you got more to kind of elaborate on? Because I'm kind of interested to see where you think Edinburgh and Glasgow finish within the playoffs and that.
Well, we can maybe come to the predictions in a wee while, but the thing I would say about Glasgow is it's something of like a bit of a free hit for them. Last week, not big in promoting my rivals, but on the BBC Scotland Rugby podcast, Franco Smith came out and said that this was like year one of this part of the project, which makes me think, he maybe was at the end of his cycle last season and he's having to rebuild everything again, albeit with a lot of like superstars. Lions, 3 off the top of my head being Tuipulotu, Jones, albeit he's injured, and Scott Cummins. Well, he technically didn't make it to the tour, but yes. There is there was a lot of speculation, as I covered in a different video, which if you're new to the channel, have a look around. The thing for me with Glasgow is, yes, it is a bit of a rebuild, but as I said just there, they also have quite a lot of quality players. The thing I'm going to be looking forward to most, probably because I play as a forward, is who's going to nail down the second row positions. As if Scott Cummins is fit, he's their first starter. And then it's a toss-up of, for example, Gregor Brown and Max Williamson, who's going to be in there as his partner.
You would say it's got to be Gregor Brown, well, for me anyway. Big up Gregor Brown, another British now, an Irish line. I'm pretty sure Gregor Brown can also play back row. However, the back row of Glasgow is so blessed. It's good to see the depth and everything. It's also interesting how you mentioned Franco Smith saying it's like phase one. Maybe they're setting a new game plan, a new brand, not a new brand of rugby, but a new system in place possibly, whatnot, and it's a complete reset and that kind of aspect, which would make sense because they look, they're a very strong side, and it's very, very difficult to kind of win back-to-back URCs, if not even possible, but it's very difficult. Maybe Franco Smith for his next kind of to gain successes, obviously win a URC, but then maybe to repeat itself again in like the year after, back to back. Glasgow's won it. They've won the URC twice, but it was rebranded since the first time they won to the URC. It was the Pro 12 before. But again, it's like, what did they do the second season after that? Did they just like naturally fall off like a lot of teams do? Or were the teams a lot better? And is it a case of kind of stay up in that fight? Or here's another kind of point of view: are they wanting to build a lot of depth, which it looks like they're getting a lot more strength and depth now, so they can compete more in European?
I disagree.
You disagree? Okay.
I disagree. The squad depth, again, Franco Smith that alluded to a lot of his speculation about moving on. There's less players. For example, the famous one was Hengo Venter. Players like him are away, and David Nusifora is kind of pushing for Glasgow and Edinburgh to be producing their own superstars. That sort of thing, rather than relying on seasoned pros like your Henko Venters to come in and basically help with the squad depth for your busier times of the season. For example, the week before the Six Nations starts, you want your Henko Venters to be in there playing for Glasgow because you don't want to risk your Scottish boys getting injured, that sort of thing. The player pool has gotten smaller, but the expectations are still the same, and that's part of the reason why Franco Smith came out and said that he wants to try and manage expectations. You look at the likes, Glasgow have been busy in the kind of transfer window, as you call it. I mean, obviously they lost Tom Jordan. Is the guy Lancaster, is he going to be the great replacement for him?
Well, he was getting lots of game time at Racing 92, which is not a small club. In coming from his kind of background, his family background, you kind of think I wouldn't say he's established, but there'd be a lot of promise there, and he should be mature enough to kind of slide in there. But I think it's a very good replacement for Tom Jordan. I mean, obviously you want to keep TJ, but he's went and he signed for the Bears and probably a massive contract. But Lancaster, I thought it was a very yes, money talks. I think for Lancaster it was a very, very smart signing, especially when he is eligible for Scotland as well.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I mean, all that Lancaster's up against, I think, is Adam Hastings, and his best days are behind him.
For sure, which is what I think for.
No, I was just going to say, lastly for Glasgow, I mean, whenever Fagerson got injured, Xander, that is, last season, there was such a horrendous gulf in quality in the front row whenever he was or wasn't there, and I think that'll be one of the big work-ons or areas of improvement that Franco Smith will be looking at directly for Glasgow this season.
Fair point. Okay, dokes. Predictions?
Well, I've went for top 8. Have you went for top 8?
I'll let you fire away, and I'll just let you know if I agree or disagree.
Okay, well, we'll start with 8th to 4th. So 8th I've went with Benetton, 9th I think Edinburgh, 6th Stormers, and 5 Glasgow, for obvious reasons we've just discussed.
Okay, I can get behind it. I would like to see Glasgow in the top 4, but I can get behind that. I think that's a very logical 5, 6, 7. Being honest, it's nice to see you've included a Italian club as well. They're due one, to be fair. They're more than due one. for sure. Also, did you see the Stormers, was it?
Yeah, the Stormers in 6th, yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably be about right with them as well. Edinburgh usually do kind of creep in that kind of position thereabouts anyway. What about your top 4? So 1 to 4 or 4 to 1?
Yeah, and 4th, and this is, I'm not saying whoever's going to come first or whatever is going to win the tournament. 4th, Munster. 3rd, Sharks. 2, the Bulls with Handré Pollard, and number 1, Leinster. So Jack Nienaber signed an extension to the end of the 2026-27 season.
Again, I can't really complain too much. You know, Leinster usually do finish out on top, but then again, you just never know with Munster, especially once it gets into the kind of playoff kind of stages as well. They're a very up and down team. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think in comparison to 2 seasons ago, they never had the best season last season. But so they maybe are. Do you think they had a good season last season?
Last season, I didn't think they did have a good season. They got rid of Roundtree mid-season. Interestingly enough, Conor Murray came out and said as much for an interview. He was doing his Johnny Sexton comment on him.
Mm-hmm.
On Leinster, I would agree with yourself. I mean, I think Leinster will be up and around there, but this might kick the hornet's nest. I don't think Ricky Ioane, based on current form for the All Blacks, is going to have even half the impact that Jordy Barrett had for them.
No, he's a completely different kind of player, being honest. He's a finisher. He's a brilliant finisher. He's an absolute brilliant finisher. But Jordy Barrett, this all-round game, I'm sorry. I think I've said it before. In terms of all-round game, if you wanted to pick a player to cover as many positions as possible, Jordy Barrett's that kind of guy. I watched Jordy Barrett live against Leinster against the Bears, and I've never seen somebody so unplayable in all his life. I mean that hand on heart. Nobody could touch him. Every single ball he played, nobody seen it come in. It was honestly like I was in shock and awe when I was watching it. It was just phenomenal. But back to Ioane, yeah, okay. Look, it's a big sign. It's a flashy signing. It's a like shiny new coin and everything. A shiny new toy, should I say? It's just a sabbatical, 6 months, however long it is. It's good to put bombs on seats and get other viewers watching. But apart from that, again, Ioane is a great player. Starts with the All Blacks, but like I say, he's not. I don't think he's at that world class caliber. Being honest, he's still got plenty of years left in him and whatnot to prove me wrong. But he's a consistent player. Let's put it like that. He never has that. Okay, he sometimes has a wee bit of a shit of a game, but on the whole part, he's maybe like a 6, a 7 out of 10. Usually.
Are you trying to describe him as a journeyman?
Do you think so?
I'm asking if you are.
No, I don't think so. No, because he's been at the Blues for how long? Nah, I think
It was just how you were describing him there. I thought, yeah, it's a bit like a journeyman.
No, I wouldn't say no. Journeyman. No, I wouldn't say so, because I think journeyman would be like remember Sam Whitelock for the All Blacks. I would like class him as the ultimate journeyman. But in terms of Ioane, no, I wouldn't say so, because he maybe has a lot of kind of dip in form or rise in form every now and then. Like the point I'm trying to make though is he's nothing like a Jordy Barrett. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Let's let the comments disagree with that or agree. Make a fine change. So on to like I say, Leinster first. You say Sharks in second. They could be pushing. They most definitely could be pushing. For me, I think Sharks would be second. Munster. What was your third and fourth? Sorry.
It was Leinster, Bulls, Sharks, Munster.
Yeah. Again, I think that's probably right enough. But I would maybe have Glasgow in there for probably the Bulls, being honest. But other than that, yeah, I think you're pretty spot on with the top 8. I would think that's very fair, and that's probably like a very unbiased analysis. I showed with putting the 2 Scottish teams in 5th and 7th.
Well, the other thing as well, I did think who's going to be maybe like an outside better getting in. I can't see, with everything that's going on off the field, any Welsh teams getting into the top 8.
No, I was about to say that. Not a single Welsh team. I've not even questioned it. No, I think you're spot on there. Ospreys might. You just don't know, to be honest. Ospreys.
The Dragons.
They'll come on the Dragons, of course. Can't forget about them. Be lucky if they get a win, man. But no, anyway, right. I'm happy with that, Andy. Even with the Welsh team being subject to neglect. But no, I'm happy with that. On to the Gallagher Premiership.
Kicks off on Thursday.
It's kicked off. Aye. It's kicked off. The game I did catch, Bears vs Gloucester, unless it was a pre-season game, the Bears vs Gloucester. You not see that Zamet's return against his old club?
I
It
could
was a
be
bit.
wrong. I mean, it maybe just shows how out of touch I am with the Gallagher Prem. I thought it was this week that it was starting on Thursday. I thought it was the Prem Cup that was at this past weekend, and then the weekend before that was friendlies.
They had the cup. They did have the cup going on, but I believe that was the week. Oh no, you're right. It's the cup. You had Gloucester. You had Gloucester vs Bristol Bears, nonetheless, and it was return of Louis vs Zamet against Gloucester. And oh my goodness, did he get a bit of stick and a bit of needle? Oh yes. But cut a long story short, him and this other guy got a yellow card for fighting. It was a little bit ugly. There was no punches involved, but it just got very, very ugly. And it was
That's hardly a fight. When I think rugby players saying a fight, I'm thinking Jim Hamilton, David Pace.
I mean,
that's what I call a fight.
I agree, but in these days, in this kind of current climate, a fight in rugby, I mean, to get warranted a yellow card for just like grappling the floor, that's a fight in rugby these days. There was no punches thrown. However, when they were walking off, the verbals continued, and Zamet did give the flanker a lot, kind of bodied them a little bit as they were walking off. And honestly, I thought it was going to kick off again, and that's when I thought there was maybe going to be some fists flying, because that would set me off. I'd be absolutely fuming. I'd probably get decked as well, to be fair, but I would be absolutely fuming nonetheless if somebody did that to me. Zamet also got a try in that game, which he didn't really seem to show much. He wasn't overly humble, should we say. He wasn't cocky, but he wasn't overly humble. He celebrated with his new team, with his new teammates, and that. It didn't really show much sympathy towards his old club. But I guess it depends on the player. Again, brilliant finish, brilliant try. He's shown that he is able, a bit more capable, just to slide back into professional rugby. It was a very, very good finish, to be fair to him. And his evasive skills showed up against speed and agility. But, fuck hell, the Gallagher Premiership. My top four.
I know.
Yeah, I've went for a bit of a safe bet, and I've went with Sarries.
Okay, I have also got them in my top four, but not in fourth.
Okay, who have you got in fourth?
I've got the Leicester Tigers, last year's runners-up.
Interesting. Who have you got in third?
Bristol.
I've got Newcastle.
I did think about Newcastle, but I think it's too much too quickly. I think next season is when you'll really see them. You know, these players need to gel and everything. It'll be next season, I think, before you see them properly, like
See them, I reap them.
Business end of the table, basically.
Yeah, okay. I understand. I completely understand that. Second, I've went with the Bristol Bears. They've recruited very well. They've recruited very, very well this season. I know, like, sometimes it takes a season for players to fit in and everything. I think with likes of TJ and Zamet, they'll kind of just slide in quite the thing. Who have you got in second?
Second, I went with Saracens.
Sarries. And then first, we both went with Bath.
Yeah.
Given, like, again, how they've built and kind of kicked on, signing Arundel, what other signings have they made? There's just been absolutely, like, kind of...
Carreras.
It would go. Like, they just added. Okay, they've lost a few players, but at the same time, they've got a basis of even like quite a young squad, especially in the back row. Even like some guy Pepper, who's 22 years old and he's an absolute unit, and he doesn't even start all the time. It's their depth is unreal. If they managed to hold on to that whole management team as a collective, but also like their main players, I don't see anyone really challenging them until it gets to the European competitions later on, and that's just my kind of analysis, and I think that's kind of most people's kind of verdict of it all. And again, if you disagree in the comments, comment below and let me know your opinion. But for me, that's kind of the only way I see it unfolding this season.
What do you think they'll prioritise more for Bath? Do you think trying to win the league again, or kind of prioritising the Champions Cup? Because that's they'll obviously win the Challenge Cup, and then the next thing after winning the league is obviously let's be the best in Europe, not just for league.
I think they'll probably aim for a top two finish. I don't think they'll be overly concerned about winning it, unless they get knocked out early-ish or like they're showing signs of like struggling in the European competition in the Champions Cup. Then they might try focusing on the league. However, I think the main focus will be the cup, with the expectation that they still get like a playoff finish, which they should, because then if on the playoffs, then they'll have the semi-final and that, and then to go and actually win the Gallagher Prem. Look, they've won the league. They've won the whole thing as well, but they'll be probably targeting up this week the main prize, which is the kind of Champions Cup, European Cup, whatever you call it. Yeah, that's my analysis. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with you. They maybe wouldn't be that bothered about being bang, we're top of the table before the playoffs, but certainly, yeah, I mean, we've alluded to it before. Like Johan van Gaal, if he's got any ambitions of being Springbok coach, I mean, winning or certainly getting to the final in Europe will be something that he'll be striving for.
Absolutely. Like I say, they've won everything apart from that one thing, and it's basically they win this and it tops off as one of the best squads in like historically in the modern era. Being honest, it's strong. Even if they win it like 2 trophies this year, they don't have to win the quadruple. The treble. But even if they win 2 trophies this year, it just kind of shows the dominance. But I really feel, I feel that they feel that it's going to be a European one again. It's going to be the cream of the crop.
Definitely. I have written down who I think's going to get the wooden spoon. Have you?
I haven't, but I haven't. Go on then.
I think it's going to be in 10th place, the Exeter Chiefs.
Yeah, sadly, I'm afraid so. Which is awful because they've got some quality players, and like I mean, for example, the 2 wingers, or like is the guy Bampo. I can't remember his full name, Christian something Bampo or whatever. He's almost like a Feo Bosso after Feo Bosso. It's a bit mental how they've got like last season before Feo Bosso was injured, they had both them on the wings. Just unfortunately, Bosso did get injured because they're both absolutely phenomenal. But I think Exeter, like the lack again, like I don't know, there's just something about Sandy Park used to be a hell of a place to go to, and now it's just like meh. It's Exeter. Like I mean, the poor last season. Recruitment wise, hasn't been the best this season, to my knowledge, and yeah, like they've not had that statement signing yet, in my opinion, to kind of say we are back.
Fair enough.
Done. Right. One last thing I want to mention before we kind of round off or address a few things on the podcast. So, congratulations to Canada and also congratulations to England, the Red Roses. They both won their respective semi-finals. Canada being very impressive in defeating the Black Ferns, the All Blacks, in quite fanatic style, and also England, the Red Roses, defeating France, which I thought was actually one of the best games of rugby I've watched in a while for international. Probably the best women's international game I've watched. It was really exciting. Shout out to Ellie. Please, I do apologise and please forgive me for butchering her name. Ellie Kidden, or Ellie Kidden, I think it is. She scored 2 tries against France, 2 brilliant tries. Fullback, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure she won World Player of the Year as well. And I can see why. I can completely see why. She plays for Harlequins as well. Stays, but plays locally, if you like, in England. And yeah, I was really, really impressed with how she played. And I feel like she could kick it up a gear. She was involved, but I feel she could be even more involved. So it'll be very interesting to see how Canada and England go. But I'm going to do my prediction for the final, and I'm going to say Canada by 8. I'm so hopeful Canada do it. And I know the joke is everybody hates England apart from the English, but the fact that Canada is actually they're crowdfunded, not sure if you knew that, Andy, but the Canadian ladies
No, I didn't know that, no.
They're crowdfunded, and that's how they're here at the competition this year. So if they manage to go on and win the whole thing, I think that's one of the best stories in sport recently, or in this kind of generation. And that would be quite. You never see that happening ever.
No, it's something different. I was just thinking, like Canada, the men's team is that bad, yet the women's is in the final.
They're phenomenal. Honestly, they're absolutely torn the Black Ferns apart. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. They were just night and day better than them. Anyway, but I'm going to say Canada by 8 in the final. I've said it. Canada win. I hope so. Yeah, not just because I'm Scottish, but also because of the story behind them and everything. So, but Twickenham, hard place to go for a final. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. Excellent. Okay, let's address these comments.
Yeah. So one of them at Kaiser says, I can't even read my own handwriting there. O'Driscoll and Russell podcast was my favourite comment by that guy there. So yeah, it's didn't know that Brian O'Driscoll and Finn Russell had a podcast. So I think I'll put the photos onto the screen now, and folk can make up their own minds at who he thinks who was with the comparison.
I thought you sounded a bit more Irish, which is what he was getting at. I think you got a bit more of a Dublin kind of twang about you, but maybe not. we'll leave the comments to decide that one, to be honest. But I thought I was Finn Russell and you were O'Driscoll. I wouldn't mind being compared to O'Driscoll. I mean, I've been compared to worse, that's for sure. So yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. But no, one of the nicer comments we had this week. But so thank you very much for that comment there. But I also can appreciate the humour as well. But no, we're both Scottish. Xav and Andy. I hate to tell you. Did you write any other comments? Yeah, you did also. Here we go.
No, I think we're a wee bit out of sync, but I think that's why. No, there was an interesting comment, and I screenshotted it and sent it to you. I'll put it onto the screen now. I think it goes without saying, Zav, we don't mind constructive criticism, but certainly there's folk being, I wouldn't say nasty, but there's folk maybe having a different opinion, and then you kind of agree to disagree, and then there's comments accusing us of being on substances, and then I'm just like, I mean, the irony was I was wearing like a black t-shirt and then a blue quarter zip, and I was just like, no, I'm not in black at all.
Are you in black today?
I've got a black t-shirt on, yeah.
Yeah, same. So at least I'm a black hoodie as well. So that guy can't call me out for being the guy in white this time. But no, it was. I'm sorry. It was. I put my hands up in the air. I really apologise, guys. I've got a confession to make. I was twitching a lot, and the guy was onto something. But it's because there was somebody fanning about outside, and I was like looking back and forth what he was doing, and I was distracted. Nothing to do with substance abuse. Also, I've got my notes literally just outside of me there. So if I've got it up against my shelf, I'll be looking back and forth at my notes. I don't just memorise a whole page worth of notes for a podcast. So bloody hell, guys! But no, it's not cocaine or Charlie. But I'm going to say it as it is. The bitter South African viewer suggested. It's not that. I'm a clean guy. I'm a man of God. I'm a good guy. I do not tolerate that kind of substance abuse, and I will never will. So, if you think that's where it was, I do apologise. I've actually really made an effort not to twitch today. So hopefully, when we watch back the video, I haven't twitched too much. But I can understand the confusion. But no, you're wrong. And enough of that bitter comments, because it doesn't hurt me, but it might hurt Andy. Because Andy's a fragile little soul sometimes.
Yeah, says the little fly half. I don't know, you should maybe keep it up though. That was like that last week, 3.1 thousand views. That's our best like ever video, and we also gained 25 subs. So thank you for that, and be sure to check out our links to all our other social media platforms in the description.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what Andy said there. Yeah, the channel seems to be growing. A little bit of age bait in there to help. I guess maybe we should do it again. But no, it was really good to see, and really stoked to see the channel rising. Remember YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, get stuck in the comments within reason. Keep it politically correct, please.
Please, within reason.
Politically correct, please. Subscribe on Twitter to Andy Moore and THINK RUGBY, and also on TikTok. Let's grow the channel. Let's share the word, and let's see your predictions in the comments as well, between the URC, the Girls Prem, the Rugby Championship, and also what you think is going to happen in the Ladies Rugby World Cup final as well. Okay, Andy. It's all from me. It's all from you.
That's all from me.
Excellent. Right, thank you very much for listening, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.